Fight fans, this is the 13th round, where we discuss all things boxing, nutter boxing. And on this episode, we will be discussing who's next. And when I say who's next, I mean who is next to fight Tank Davis. But before we get into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button. It helps to let people know that we are in here and we are live. We had a wonderful time this weekend for the live stream of Tank Davis and Frank Martin. We had cousin Max stop by and help us with the color commentary. We had Mr. Marquis help us give away some of our big prizes for the 2K subscriber giveaway. And we had other few guests who chose to remain off camera. But if you watched the live stream or listened to the live stream, you definitely heard everything that they had to say. Also, I got some major news, boxing news that I'm about to relay to you guys. We had our big 2K subscriber giveaway, like I was saying. Congratulations to all of the winners. Son of Apollo, he won $100. Also, Jonah Falculon won $100. Actually, I got the tickets right here. So I got these tickets. Brendan Turner won the Ali movie poster signed by James Toney. Gadfly Game won the Sports Illustrated hardcover tribute to Muhammad Ali. Mr. Theo won the Evander Holyfield Mike Tyson bike fight poster. And Harris Tucker won the Tommy the Hitman Hearns authentically autographed boxing glove. What you say about that? Good times, good times. Congratulations to our subscribers. So, we got some news I want to kind of unravel before we get to our main topic of today's or tonight's live stream. And also, happy Juneteenth to everyone out there. Happy Juneteenth, or happy whatever we have left of Juneteenth, being that we only have 22 minutes until midnight. But boxing news. Mario Barrios has been elevated to full WBC champion. Confirmation was ordered by the WBC to name Mario Boxer Barrios as the recognized WBC champion. So, Terence Crawford has now been downgraded to the WBC welterweight champion in recess. And it's not like it really matters, because I doubt we see Terence Crawford ever fight at 147 pounds again. We all know Terence Crawford is set to face Israel Madrimov at 154 pounds on August 3rd. And that brings us into our next headline, which is rapper Eminem has been added to the card August 3rd, featuring Terence Crawford and Israel Madrimov. Apparently, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh enjoyed Terence Crawford's ring walk so much against Errol Spence that he added the Grammy Award-winning rapper to the August 3rd card in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, which is, big news, I guess, especially for, probably the Saudi Arabians who do not get to, see American rappers as often as they probably would like. So, that is big. And, I'm a fan of Eminem, I guess, when I see him on TV. I don't ride around listening to Eminem, never really did, but I did enjoy Terrence Crawford's ring walk versus Errol Spence myself. Um, Other news: Christian Mbile and Sergey Derevyanchenko have agreed to fight, and it is a done deal. This fight will be taking place the 17th of August this year. Of course, that will be in the super middleweight division. I want to say super middleweight, yeah. So, Christian Mbile versus Sergey Derevyanchenko. That will be an excellent contest, as Mbile is trying to really work his way up into title contention, and Derevyanchenko is really trying to keep his name relevant. He loses a lot of close fights, Derevyanchenko does, but he always gives a good showcase of himself. But this is a big fight that Derevyanchenko definitely needs to win. All right, let's see what else I got for you. Y'all remember that song back in the day, "Wet My Whistle"? Yeah, I had to give me a little sip of water right quick, a little parched. All right, the title of today's show is "Who's Next?" As in, who's next for Gervonta Tank Davis? And as per usual, boxing media has already begun to discredit Tank Davis over his knockout win over Frank Martin on Saturday night. Now, before the referee could finish administering the 8 count, you had people questioning who the hell is Tank gonna fight next. The world seems to want Gervonta Tank Davis to fight Shakur Stevenson or Vasily Lomachenko. But I am one to believe that a rematch with Isaac Cruz could also be looming. At this very present time and moment, I declare that there is no one, I repeat, no one who can beat Tank Davis fighting in the 135-pound division. And it is just time to give credit where credit is due. Gervonta Davis is now 30-0 with 28 knockouts. Listen to what I'm saying. 30-0 with 28 KOs, right? And out of those 30 wins, 8 of those opponents were undefeated at the time when they fought Tank Davis. Also, out of those 30 wins, the 2 times where Tank Davis heard the final bell, one of those times was a 6-round fight, and the other bout was a 12-round fight against Isaac Cruz, in which Tank hurt one of his hands and basically fought half of that fight handicapped and boxed his way to a decision. So, it's just a lot of it's a lot of hate and slander going on for Gervonta Davis, and I just want to kind of speak on it. I'm not a fanboy. I am a fan of Tank, but I'm not a fanboy of Tank. But I feel like he is not getting his just due. Now, Gervonta Davis has already said hell no to a possible rematch with Isaac Pitbull Cruz. But recently, Isaac Cruz moved up to the 140-pound division and absolutely dominated and destroyed Rolly Romero. Now, this bodes well for Isaac Cruz if he is indeed going to get a shot at a rematch with Gervonta Davis. I imagine that fight would be the easier of the 3 fights to make, and I'm talking about the fight between Isaac Cruz and Gervonta Davis would be easier to make than a Shakur Stevenson Gervonta Davis fight or a Devin Haney Gervonta Davis fight. So, Gervonta Davis has been a promotional free agent since he knocked out Rolly Romero back in May of 2022. And he now fights under his own promotional banner of GTD Promotions. But, that's still kind of under that same umbrella with PBC. And like I say, I believe the rematch with Issa Cruz will be easier to make, being that both of these fighters are fighting basically under the same umbrella. Now, despite Tank Davis' fractured relationship with Floyd Money Mayweather, Leonard Ellerbe is still very much involved in propelling Gervonta Davis' career. And as a result, Leonard Ellerbe has been removed from his duties as CEO of Mayweather Promotions and is now serving as president of GTD Promotions. Now, I'm hearing that Mayweather Promotions is now being ran by, I'll say the president now of Mayweather Promotions is Richard Schaefer, who worked very closely with Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. So, that could be an upgrade for Mayweather Promotions. Only time will tell. We will see. Now, when asked about a fight with Shakur Stevenson, Leonard Ellerbe had these things to say about Shakur Stevenson being a potential opponent for Gervonta Tank Davis. Trust me, Shakur is going to get that work. He's asking for it, and he's going to get it. It ain't what he think it is. Tank has a hit list and a set of goals, and he's going to give it to whoever is considered the top guys and get them out of the way. Tank isn't looking to stick around. I can guarantee you that. Ellerbe also said that he wouldn't call it an early retirement if Tank was just getting through the hit list and walked away from boxing as a wealthy young man. And I quote, "Once Tank wipes out the division, we will draw the conclusion that Tank is the best fighter in the entire world." I say that again. Leonard Ellerbe said, once Tank wipes out the division, we will draw the conclusion that Tank is the best fighter in the entire world. So what I'm wondering is, when Leonard Ellerbe says wipe out the division, does that mean that we will never see Tank at 140 pounds and he'll only campaign at 135? And does that also mean when he's wiping out the division, does that include some of the young studs like Keyshawn Davis, Abdullah Mason, Kid Austin? Does that include those boys? Because when I hear clear out the division, what I'm thinking is Shakur Stevenson and Vasily Lomachenko. To me, those are the only two guys that are kind of left that's in Gervonta Tank Davis class that are fighting at 135 pounds. Keyshawn Davis, he called out Tank, but we know he's not ready for that fight. And I wouldn't put any of those other young guys in the ring with Tank if I were their handlers and promoters. But Vasily Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson, those are the fights that I am hearing. Everybody's clamoring for those two fights. But the thing about it, there's always something to be said after Tank wins. You know, personally, I'm gonna give him full credit for the Frank Martin victory. You know, Tank didn't. He wasn't the one who made the rules for the rehydration clause. The WBA came up with that. Tank had to abide by the same rules. So you know that's the belt that they were fighting for. Both of them had a rehydration clause. Uh, Fair game. So now I'm going to get into why and why not each of these fights may or may not happen. Why Gervonta Tank Davis versus Vasily Lomachenko could be next. And the reason that Tank versus Lomachenko could be next is because Lomachenko is not getting any younger. And if not now, then when? And here are the reasons why Tank versus Lomachenko will not happen next. Basically, the same reason why it will. Lomachenko is not getting any younger. And, you know, before the Kambosos fight, I was hearing that Lomachenko was talking of retirement and only took that fight to make his dad happy. You know, they wanted to go out as a champion. Now that Loma's back into, you know, a big title contention, looking to unify, there's big money on the line. So there might be enough money on the table to get Lomachenko to step back into the ring one or maybe two more times. We will see. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we get that announcement from Vasily Lomachenko that he is hanging up the gloves. I would love to see him in the ring again, but if it's not and it's hard, I would hate to see him get hurt, and I'd rather see him just ride off into the sunset. Now for our reason that Gervonta Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson could be next. Shakur Stevenson fights Artem Artunian July 6th, which is 3 weeks removed from the Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin fight, which in essence puts both Davis and Stevenson on the same timeline for a collision course. Now, this is the reason why Gervonta Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson will not happen. This would be a cross-promotional fight. Saying that, you know, Shakur Stevenson re-signs with Top Rank after his showdown with Artem Artunian. This would be a cross-promotional fight. And negotiations for these type of events are not always the easiest to make. We would essentially be dealing with the same two companies that held up Mayweather versus Pacquiao for 5 years and Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford for 5+ years. So if history were to repeat itself, this fight would not materialize anytime soon. Now, I know Lomachenko is also with Top Rank, but at the moment, I'm more than sure that Top Rank is more invested in Shakur Stevenson, who will be a free agent, like I said. So we will see how it plays out. I expect Shakur Stevenson to re-sign with Top Rank. I just couldn't see any other company paying him probably what he's looking for, especially after his performance against Edwin De Los Santos. Now, this fight here, this next fight that I'm about to name, really isn't being talked about as much as it was, but Gervonta Tank Davis versus Devin the Dream Haney. Personally, I believe that this fight will never, ever happen, as, you know, I just can't see these fighters agreeing to meet, you know, at a mutual weight where the fight can be held. You know, I just can't see it. This fight isn't about to be made in the next 6 months to a year. I'm not sure how long Devin plans to be at 140 pounds. He looked a little drained in the fight with Ryan Garcia, but I'm not sure that Devin Haney has the chin to go up to 147 yet. So he's kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Um, also, this is neither here nor there, but Top Rank did win the purse bid for the Devin Haney versus Sander Martin fight. And the weird thing about that is that Eddie Hearn did not. Well, I don't know if he placed the bid, but it's almost a preconceived notion that he did not, because that fight sold to Bob Arum at Top Rank for like 2.4 million, which is chump change. Tank Davis versus Teofimo Lopez. Now, this fight would probably be the most dangerous fight for Tank Davis out of all the fights that we named, being that Teofimo Lopez has a very high boxing IQ, and he is also a puncher. And if you really want to know the truth, Teofimo Lopez is more of a slick black fighter than Frank Martin. So, that probably would be a more dangerous fight for Teofimo Lopez. But I am not sure if Teofimo Lopez is on Tank's radar and vice versa. I'm not sure if Tank is on Teofimo Lopez's radar. Now, Tank versus Isaac Cruz. I believe I'm just, taking a stab at it, man. We're only a few days removed from Tank getting out of the ring with Frank Martin, but I am one to believe that this Isaac Cruz rematch makes the most sense, being that fans do want to see this fight, and with Cruz moving up to 140, this fight could still be made, and most people who don't like Tank not going to want to hear this, but Gervonta Davis is still the A-side in this matchup, being that he won the first fight. And you can only imagine that Tank isn't going up to 140 to fight Cruz. He'll make Cruz come back down to 135. So, that would be in the best interest for Cruz to do that sooner than later. Also, the fans, if that fight, the rematch with Isaac Cruz does not happen sooner than later, if and when Gervonta Davis does beat Isaac Cruz in the rematch, fans will be screaming that Isaac Cruz was weight drained, because y'all know that fight, went a certain way the first time. But people forget that and I find it funny. It's funny as hell how you got some Shakur Stevenson supporters who, when you say he ran from De Los Santos, they'll say, well, Shakur had an injury, his hand was hurt. But then there'll be the same people who say, well, Tank really lost to Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Like, Tank didn't injure his hand in that fight. The big thing, you fanboys have to keep that same energy. If you're gonna be one way on this side of the street, you got to be that same way on the other side of the street. So basically, I am one to believe that Isaac Cruz is the next fight for Gervonta Davis, and that is my final take on this live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. Be sure to drop down in the comment section. Let me know, who do you think is the next opponent for Gervonta Tank Davis. Shout out to all of our subscribers. We really do appreciate each and every last one of you. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. And as always, like, subscribe, protect yourself at all times. We out. Peace.